Hello, people of the internet. I am Massive Guy, and today I'm going to come at you with a new deck profile for Dragons of Tarkir Standard. It's going to be Mono Black Devotion. Now, I did have this deck a while back in Fate Forged when we got some new awesome cards for it. But now, Dragons didn't give us much. Give us some new removal spells, new hand attack. Nothing really changed. But hey, the deck's still good against red. Red's a good color right now. So it's time to deck Mono Black Devotion for Dragons of Tarkir Standard. Alright, let's get this right. Alright, we'll start with our mana base, which is pretty damn simple. You couldn't figure that out by now. We have 24 basic swamps, that's all you need. You could cut down on lands for more spells, but you do want the ability to hit your spells on curve. Creature base, I'm going to run through this fast. There's only 16 creatures. 4 Herald of Torment. It's just here for the 2 black in the upper right. You can bestow it onto Squelching Leeches. You know, if you go turn 3, Breed the Bones, turn 4 Leeches, turn 5 Bestow, swing 8 in the air, you can just win the game sometimes off of that. It's ridiculous. Speaking of our leeches, there's 4 copies of him right here. He's 2 black for a leech. His power and toughness are equal to the number of swamps you have. Now, if you remember the mana base I just said 10 seconds ago, it's all swamps. So he is going to be a 4/4 when you drop him, and he's only going to get bigger. So, and you know, he makes a fine bestow target for Herald of Torment. For Grey Merchant of Asphodel, he is probably the best card in the whole deck, to be completely honest. He is 3 black for a 2/4. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent loses X life or X is your devotion to black, and you gain the life lost. So if you go turn 3 Herald, turn 4 Leeches, turn 5 this, you gain 6, they take 6, you attack for 7. Here's one of the Fate Forged cards that the deck got. 2 copies of Archfiend of Depravity. He is 3 black for a 5/4 flying demon. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures he or she controls, then sacrifices the rest. Elspeth, you're not so big anymore. Okay? This card just says token decks go down with fire. It's basically anger to them because they have to sack a bunch of their tokens. But the problem is they can just get end of turn stoke and then that's it, they can go away, they did their job. But it's really good against Elspeth decks. Obs on aggro looking at you. And the last card in the deck are 2 copies of Hythonia the Cruel. 4 black for a 4/6 legendary creature Gorgon with Death Touch. Siege Rhino, go die. Anyway, 6 black for Monstrosity 3 to make her a 7/9, and then when she goes monster, she destroys everything that isn't a Gorgon, which 99.9% of the time is the entire board except her, so it's basically another Crux of Fate, but guess what? I don't have to choose dragons. They can go die. So that's it for the creature base. It's only 16 creatures. It's quite simple. It's effective. And because there are cards in the deck... oh, sorry. Because there are cards in the deck that let you reanimate your creatures. So having 16 is perfectly fine. On to our removal spells. Dragons of Tarkir gave us Ultimate Price. I love this card. It kills Master of Waves, Shore Crash Elemental, Storm Breath Dragon, Wingmate Rock. Must I keep going? It kills Pelucranos. Good enough. I'm main decking 2 Bioblade. This card, it really depends on the format. Last format I wasn't really playing it. I side decked it because tokens were a thing. But now it's not really around. Ascendancy decks aren't as big as they used to be since everybody's playing a Tarka Red and Esper Dragons and Bioblade's just good against those decks. So, and you know, what black deck does exist without Hero's Downfall? 4 copies of the best removal spell in the format, hands down, no question. It's an instant, it kills Planeswalkers, it kills everything that isn't Sylvan Caryatid, Basara Tower Archer, Segu Mauler, anything that has hexproof really. And then again we have Hythonia and Crux of Fate for them. So that's our instant speed removal. That's 10 cards, it's 8 or 10 cards. For Read the Bones, it is 2 and a black for a sorcery. You scry 2, then you draw 2, and you lose 2 life. Now, this is where a playset of Thoughtseize or Despise would be, but I don't think those cards are good this format. My reason being is that if they have good cards in their hand, they're not going to wait to play them. There is hand attack in my sideboard, but I would much rather advance my own board than delay yours. Because, okay, turn 1, despise you, you have nothing I can take. Great, I know what you're playing, but I don't care because I'm just playing a deck where this deck is all about just killing your opponent. It's that simple. This helps you dig for the pieces you need, and, you know, 4 cards deep into your deck isn't terrible, especially since we don't have access to dig through time. And like I said before, Fate Forge also gave us 2 Crux of Fate. It's a 3 black sorcery, dragons or non-dragons. Most of the time, you'll declare dragons to kill stuff, or if you want to get really cheeky, you could have a whip in play, say destroy all non-dragons, leave a dragon and play like Ojutai or something, and then reanimate the stuff that just died for value. So, that's a thing. 4 copies of Palace Siege. I am not joking. This card is probably the second or third best card in the entire deck. Grey Merchant's the best, but this card's probably a close second. I've killed with this. It's a 2-of in my blue-black control sideboard for a reason. The card's just uber good. It's 3 black for an enchantment. As it enters the battlefield, choose cons or dragons. For cons, you get to Dutiful Return, which is a creature back to your hand from your yard, or dragons, where it's Farika's Cure. At the beginning of your upkeep, they lose 2, you gain 2. Again, I'm sorry, I'm really exhausted. But you can have like 2 or I've had an instance where I've had 3 of them on the field, 2 dragons and a cons, get creatures back and gain 4 life a turn. It's just awesome. And the fact that it's 2 devotion to black makes it a lot better. The last card in the deck are the 2 Whip of Erebos. I don't really have to explain this card. It brings back Grey Merchant for the win. It can bring back Hythonia for board wipe if you get to 11, 12 mana, which sometimes can happen against the control decks. You know, most control decks don't have artifact or enchantment removal anymore. You know, Abzan are playing Erase, I guess. Fluid Heroic can deal with it pretty easily. You know, Perilous Vault, it depends on the version. I know people who play Perilous Vault, those who don't. This card's really good against those who don't. Those who do, you want to side out like 1 copy just so you can bring in more cards that are resilient to it. But yeah, it's still a very, very good Magic card. Anyway, that's my main deck for Mono Black Devotion. We're going to go on to the sideboard now. It's 60 cards, main deck 60. I have a 15 card sideboard. Sideboards vary from meta to meta. This is what I've decided on through testing of my own and videos that I've watched. I'm sideboarding 1 Erebos. The reason this card is good against so many decks. Oh my god, I need to stop yawning. It's good against Mardu because you don't have to sack it to the Crackling Doom. You could just leave it as 3 devotion so you don't have to sack it. It's good against Abzan since it says opponents can't gain life, so no Siege Rhino. It's also good against the mirror match. There are a couple of guys at my shop, a couple of young boys, I guess, without sounding pedophilish, who also like the fact that I've been playing Mono Black Devotion recently for a while. And it's good against the mirror match because they can't gain life off a Grey Merchant, they can't gain life off a Whip or Palace Siege. You know, there's people at my shop who plays Palace Sieges in their sideboard who rip me off. But still, it's just good. More removal. 2 Ultimate Price, 2 Bile Blight, and 1 Silence the Believers. Yeah, I just said that. 1 and alter this card. Anybody, please pay me, I'll pay you. Anyway, this is for the mono-green decks, mono-red decks, red-white decks. It's just really good against them as it kills Swift Spear, Seeker, I can go on all day. This, I bring in against Jeskai tokens, Abzan aggro because it kills Rakshasa Death Dealer and Fleeceman Lion. This I only bring it against Fluid Heroic because it's only good against it, but it can also come in against Blue Black controls that exiles Dragonlord Silumgar pretty damn well. 1 Empty the Pits. This is a win condition in the sideboard no one expects. You have like 4 mana up, you're expecting to have a removal spell, they tap out for something. Let's just say you're up against Esper Dragons and then tap out for an Ojutai. You say, okay, Empty the Pits for, let's say 4. Or, that's a little pushing. Let's just say you empty the pits for 3. That seems like a good number. That can just win you the game. You know, Esper Dragon decks aren't really playing Bile Blight. So you can just surprise them with this card. Just beat face with zombies, especially if you have whip. Lifelinking zombies seems like a lot of fun. We have 3 duress on the sideboard for the control matchups. I don't have to say much more than that. It's hand attack that's actually relevant. I've got 2 Dragon Sorrow for the token matchups, and for the aggro matchups, Mono Red specifically, because it can kill Swiftspear and Apple Master. An interesting card, 2 Staff of the Death Magus. This is a 3-mana artifact. Whenever you cast a black spell or play a swamp, you gain a life. So you can drop this on turn 3 against Red, White, Mardu, anything with, it's really anything with mountains, and you can just run away with the game. Sorry, I need some of that. You know, they don't really have artifact removal, so they can't blow this up, unless they're splashing green for destructive revelry. In that case, yeah. And then finally, the last card in the deck is Liliana Vess as a one-off. I don't really have to explain her. The card's just good. You can tutor for what you want, you can make them discard, and you can dread return the entire graveyard back to your field. So that is my take on Mono Black Devotion for Dragons of Tarkir Standard. Let me know what you think of the deck in the comment section below. Anyway, I'm Nick from Motor City Magic. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.